All right, good morning, guys. Today is 1st of August. And as usual, we'll be doing analysis for US 30, gold, and EU, and possibly see if we can catch trades. So one thing, again, right, like I mentioned last week, US 30 will drop either right mid-range, July to August 2023, because after back testing, that has been the constant range for a drop in the markets. And if you guys are in the Discord, I did send this link out in the morning that lets you know that ideally August and September also, like historically, they're the worst months in the market. So I did say the best entry would be on the reversal indicator on the daily time frame. So when I get that sell on the, so you can see, right, it hasn't given us that sell yet, and this is on the daily time frame using the reversal indicator. So this to me will be the best signal that we've gotten to that mid-range in the market. And you can see they're pumping up US 30 crazy right now. So, which is to be expected. And last week I did mention that I was expecting US 30 to hit 35,880 or 35 or 36,000 area, which is where we can possibly get a reversal. Oh, actually, wait, let me see the breakout scanner. Give me 1 second. Oh, okay. We might get a breakout on the 15-minute. Let me see. Hopefully we're not late to it. This might have been the entry. Um, okay, so the buy is on this current candle. So let me see something here. This candle is quite heavy. I would like to, I'm trying to do like at least a 1:2 risk to reward on US 30. Let me see something. Or at least 1:1.5 to start with. 626. Oh no, that is too much. So I should take this off. See if we can get this. Yeah, this candle is too. I mean, I'm biased for buys on US 30. I want to. So we expect for this move at the very least a retest of the 9 EMA on the 15-minute, and the 9 EMA is somewhere down here. Let me try 1:2. Try. Okay, so we have 2 minutes till this closes. So ideally, I would like the stop loss to be below here, but for you to have the stop loss somewhere below here, you'd have to have like a 200 pip stop loss. But for me, I'm trying to do 150 pip TP, 100 pip stop loss. So I will enter this buy on US 30. Just right, the safest stop is below this low right here, which that would make actually not bad, right? Yeah, but for me, I'm trying to improve my risk to reward going forward. So if you're going to enter this trade, just make sure you're aware that ideally you'd like to have your stop below this lows right here. But I'll take this trade with a 1% risk based off of the breakout. But we have to get that buy signal right there.
Wouldn't wait for the retest though first, because then you can get. You
Oh.
wouldn't wait for the retest so you can get a better risk to reward.
No. Based off of right those entries that come from the breakout scanner, most of them shoot to TP. And right now I'm biased for buys for US 30. So if we do get, and if you look on the higher time frame, I mean, that's just me, of course, but if you look on the higher time frames, look at this right here. We have these two trend lines. If US 30 closes above here, it will shoot up, because the only thing keeping US 30 down is this trend line right here. So even, let's see, maybe it didn't even close, but for me, it would have to close with a buy. Yeah. Not sure if it's gonna give us that, but if US 30 closes above this trend line, it will spike up, and possibly the next stop is 35,816. So personally, for me, I'm not gonna wait, but you're right. For the safest entry, the best one would be a retest off of the 9 EMA on the 15-minute time frame, which would be all the way down here. So somewhere 525. But if US30 drops this far, right, it would have to invalidate this spike to the upside. So that's why for me, I would like to enter on impulse other than wait, because this is like a 522. This is a 100 pip move. So buying during this retracement might be a bit risky, because if they have enough power to push US30 back down for 100 pips, then probably that wouldn't be a good buy. I don't think we got that buy, so I'll just wait for whenever that buy comes in. So actually this for me is a better entry if we do get this, because that candle was so huge. All right, yeah, so US30, this is the area to look out for right here, this trend lines. And currently I'm biased for buys for now, until we get the sell on the daily time frame for US30. All right, so as we wait for probably like 15 more minutes to see if we'll get that buy, let's see what else is on gold. So for gold, this is the trade I took last night. So it's just like a strategy I'm trying. I mean, we've always had the break and retest of a trend line, but I mean, there's some other news I'm going to share with you guys down the road, but it's too early to do it. But let me just put it this way: one of our members is, and we'll do videos on this going down the road. One of our members is so um even if I asked you guys to guess how much they they are up already, you probably wouldn't even come close. But I've just been talking to them and seeing what strategy they have. I mean, they have a basic strategy, ideally support and resistance. Now, one thing they do, they have a tight stop loss, like 20 pips or 30 pips. So which brought me back to thinking, right? Most of the times I know, or based off of the analysis we do here, I normally have a good indication of like where gold is headed. So for example, right here, this push up yesterday, when gold came down, rejected off of this, broke back above this trend line, and then broke above, retested and closed above. This was a nice buy on gold yesterday, right here. So if you're entering this, but I know normally, right? I normally say like 10,000, I'm sorry, not 10,000, 100 pips TP, 100 pips stop loss, right? In some of these trades, with some of the confluences we get, there really is no need to take such a heavy stop, right? So for this case, a nice stop could have been like below this candle right here. So for this one, you get 1959 to 1956. That's a 30 pip stop. Even though you want to do a 60 pip TP, targeting this other trend line to the upside, that was to the upside, because initially this trend line was this way. So targeting this next trend line, you could have gotten an easy 1:2 or 1:1. But anyway, due to interacting with this member, and you guys will see videos sometime, maybe next month or whatnot. In gold, like if you have a nice bias and you know gold is going either up or down, maybe it's broken and retested the trend line. Now again, right, various different people have their own ways of trading. This person I'm talking about is more of a scalper. But for me, since I'm transitioning to an intraday or swing trader, right, I'm not really a scalper per se, but I can achieve near or right a good amount of results, because right when you guys see whatever they get paid out, it will be crazy. But you can have a near a nice result at the end of the month. And for me, the best thing I saw with this is using the hourly time frame and waiting for this breaks and retests of the trend line. So for example, here, if by the time gold gets here, you still see that gold has a downside. So for me, based off of the back test on the hourly time frame, I see 1951, and 1950-51 was a critical area for gold. And I was anticipating if we break this area, for me, my overall bias is that we are going below 1900 for gold. So let's see my bias is correct at this point at 1940, and I see a break and retest. And I'm able to have like a 20 pip stop or 30 pip stop and able to take profit. This would be what, 100 pips away. That ideally would be a what, like a 1:3, close to 1:4 risk to reward. So those are some of the trades. And like this person I'm talking about, they're risking like 2% or 1% per trade, but their win rate is so crazy because, right, all they do, they come in here, I think the 4 hour and the 1 hour, they analyze the charts, they analyze market structure, where is support, where is resistance, and then they just scalp those levels. So for me, the way I found I can adapt similar to what they're doing is using the hourly break and retest, because here, right, there's a lot. If I was using the break and retest, I could have traded. I can see this trade right here, right? Gold broke away from this upper trend line, broke and retested. I could have entered here off of this retest and had my stop, I don't know, below maybe the 200 or below the 9. And that could have made me have like a what 62 like a 30 pip stop. So anyway, in short, with this strategy, I'm testing out a 30 pip stop for my gold trades and like a 60 pip TP or something, so that I have like a 1:2 risk to reward and all of that. But anyway, so this is just a new thing I'm trying out for myself. And one thing I know about gold, if you learn how gold moves, gold is very, very can be very profitable. I mean, I'm still a favorite of US 30, so I'm not going to stop trading US 30 because it's what I know how to trade for the most part. But just just throwing that out there. If anybody else out there trades like trend lines or is cautious about trend lines. Now, the other thing I want to start doing, right, having a daily bias. So for me, so for example, here, when we get that sell on the reversal indicator on the daily, right, I would know that we are biased to sell for the coming days. So for me right here, I know if we do get that sell on the daily, I do anticipate US 30 dropping for like 1,000 to 1,500 pips over the course of X amount of days after the signal drops. So same thing with gold right here. So gold, if I were to analyze, let me turn off all those indicators. So nowadays I just come in here, I look at the higher time frame and see what are we doing on the higher time frame. So I come here on the daily time frame and see where are the points of structure, where are we likely to go. So here you can already tell that 1982, 83 is a heavy resistance for gold. If you're looking at support, 1940 area, 1943 area. So right now, if I were looking for opportunities on gold, I would keep selling gold from this 1947 area until 1943, possibly for 39 area. And then I would come down to the 4 hour and then 1 hour and then look for entries. So if I'm looking at where we are at right now, you can see the 4 hour, we might be forming a death cross, right? That gives you a confluence for the sell. But however here, right, there's really no entry. Maybe they broke this candle to the downside right here. They broke this 1950, so maybe a sell at 1950 area. So I just do that. I mean, it doesn't take long to go from the daily down to the 4 hour. So you can see the same thing on the hourly trend line. I'm sorry, on the hourly time frame. So this right here would be a possible sell area on gold to capture, even turning this off, to ride price down to this other trend line, stop possibly where above the high maybe of this candle or right here, right? Because you have this zone, where is that? You have this zone right here that to me should act as resistance on gold based off of the structure to the left. So right, this would be a what is this? This would be like what, 1:3, maybe 1:2 risk to reward. So yeah, so
Remember,
that's,
guys, there's news at 10. So
oh, there's news at 10. Okay. But yeah, so that's how I would, I'm starting to look at the market right now and just getting in with maybe some increased risk. So there's news in 6 minutes. So we have this US 30 right here. But again, right, there's news at 10, so this might come after news. Oh yeah, and this is a news with is like 3 red folders. EU as well. So look at EU. So same thing, right? If I was trading this trend lines this whole time, right? Can you imagine? This would be a bunch of money right here. So EU, like for example, this is another one, right? A major trend line on the hourly. And then you have break and retest. And I actually saw this yesterday, but did not enter it. But right, break of a major trend line, retest. So if I was bearish on EU yesterday, this could have been a nice entry, right? Stop above the high and target the lower trend line, or target this trend line. So this gives you a, what is that? Maybe a 1:2, 1:1.5 risk to reward. So yeah, going forward, I
Yeah,
might,
like I said, that's how I've been trading, and it also it stops you from jumping into trades, like FOMO into trades. It really stops you because you're paying attention to where the price is supposed to go based on the trend lines, and you don't like just jump in. Like if it's already 75% done with the move, I'm not jumping in. 50% now, I try not to even jump in. I try to jump in like right after it hit the trend line.
yeah,
You know?
that's, yeah, that makes sense. And I think also I saw Desire, oh, looks like Desire is also making an EA. But look at, I think he posted something with, yeah, I think Desire has been taking the same thing, right? You can see Desire here selling 5 lots on EU from like 1.10, 1.099. So 1.10, yeah, right? He was ideally trading the same thing, probably trend line or probably trading the 9 EMA. So yeah, it's, I mean, right, as much as I draw this, I haven't focused on trading them as much. But the other good thing about this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Livy, that you get fewer entries, but you get highly probable entries because they rarely come up. Like right now is when you'd be observing what is EU doing on this trend line, and then you look for a bias for what is your bias on EU when price gets to those trend line areas. And at that
Yeah,
point,
exactly.
yeah.
It cuts your trades down a lot because you know what you're looking for and you just wait for it. You don't just jump in trades. I try to and what happens sometimes too is one confluence will run into another. Like the trade I took yesterday, it actually started off as a trend line, but then it wound up being a death cross, and then like it just keeps going. So that gives you more confidence to stay in the trades also a lot of times.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so it's quite interesting, and we will definitely, or I would recommend, right, for a lot of people to find this other ways of trading or strategies, because as I mentioned to you guys, August and September are crazy. They're the one of the worst months of the year to trade. Actually, they're the worst months of the year to trade. So just having that bias will give you an extra edge. So we have what, 3 minutes? Yeah. So in last week, even for me, right? For me, US 30 was terrible. Like for example, this account that's taking all of this. So only the, because I told you guys I have an automated account that's taking only the golden and death crosses on the hourly and the 15-minute, right? I've just been ending up at break even. And like right now, to be honest with y'all, that account is at 93,000, right? So that account is 7% down. So no, as much as even this crosses is profitable, like no strategy is 100%. I mean, right now, based off of how news is gonna come out, because here you can imagine this sell and this buy got locked together. This sell and this buy got locked together. This sell and this buy got locked together. So, I mean, actually, it's not at 93.
Oh,
It's
you
at,
know what? I was gonna ask you about that, Vazen. You ever thought about looking into? Can you program it to have a trailing stop?
oh yeah,
Maybe at 50% profit, it starts trailing, so at least you won't lose, on some of these.
no, it definitely the Telegram copier has the trailing stop, but yes, I see what you mean. I only tried it when it was at least 1:1 risk to reward, but I never did like 50%. But anyway, so this account was just like testing stuff out. But yeah, I see what you mean. And I mean, going forward, right, even for US 30, I'm trying to improve my risk to reward to have like a 1:2. And if I can literally have that 1:2 based off of my current TP and stop loss, right, most of my trades would hit TP. So yeah, so it's something that I've considered. But anyway, so right now, today I should be up like 2% on that account if I'm not wrong, because right now, let's see how this news is gonna go. Because right now I'm up 5K, but 2 trades hit stop loss for 4K. So let's see how this year. But I told you guys, if this closes above here, we are gonna pop up. Um, but I know it's 30 seconds to news, so let's see how this goes. But I am biased for buys on US 30. So let's see what happens in those 30 seconds. So with any luck, if US 30 pops up, this account will be back to 97K. And technically, one of the losses I took was because my Telegram copier didn't copy. So technically, this account should go back to 99K or should be at 99. In any case, I shouldn't have lost anything on this account. I forgot why I lost the 1K. Oh, I had like a trade Equity Guardian thing. So I forgot that I had Equity Guardian EA, and it closed some of the trades before they hit TP. So that's why, in short, this account should be at break even. And that go there it goes. So I'll show you guys like a screenshot of that account. But if you think about it, this is break even. This here is break even. This here would have been break even. Same thing, break even, break even. So yeah, that's the worst part. But I'll take a screenshot. I'm waiting for this last two trades, and there you go. So I'm back to 97K on this account. So I was like down 93K, but I'm back to 97. So give me 1 second. Let me see if this, I think it's too. Oh, it's still going up. I have two more positions that need to hit TP. But anyway, so let's see if we can get this. Okay, so we got this break and retest. But for me to trade the same way for US 30, like with that strategy I told you guys, I need this hourly candle to close, right? So which means this entry, it's either if you're going to enter it, it's either you enter it right here on the 15-minute time frame, or you wait here on the hourly. So how I would trade this hourly candle or hourly entry is if this current hourly candle closes above. So you have to have a bias for the market. So this can be an entry. If you take this entry, you can have your stop below this trend line. So this stop is 70 pip stop. So maybe have like or looks like so 70 pip stop, and have like if you're trying to do a 1:2, which I'm trying to do going forward, you have like a 15, so 150 pip TP right there. And this lines up with the next trend line area. So this is one entry that I'll be looking at in 50 minutes. Now, if your bias is for a sell for US 30, right, of course you wouldn't take this trade. So I'm just letting you guys know, right, always have a bias. So for me, the bias as of now for US 30 is a buy. If your bias is a sell and you want to trade the same strategy, you have to wait for an hourly close and an hourly retest, and you do, of course, the opposite. So for me, this is trade number one that I would look to enter. But this trade right here may give an earlier entry for US 30. And let's see how the news came out. But we've definitely closed above a major structural trend line. So hopefully you guys can see that, right? We've closed above two major trend lines, two major uptrending trend lines. So here, if this trend is to continue, what we'll have here is a higher high. So this is why my bias right now for US 30 is a buy. So today is,
See, based on how I've been trading, I'm already in that trade.
right, there you go.
I'm already in that trade.
Perfect.
I only risked 500 though, because I wasn't supposed to trade no more today. So
Yeah. Once some of these movements, and I do see another pop coming up on US 30. So this is even barely without even using any zones. So you can see right here, right? As much as we have supply here, these sellers don't have anything really. So if we get this pop and close above here, this thing is literally shooting up and might be going to 880, as I mentioned. So interesting things. I want to see if we get that entry right here on the 15-minute and see how that goes. Hopefully one of my trades, automatic trades, because I think I was actually in, let me tell you, I was in two, 1, 2, 3. I was in 3 buys and 2 sells. So that means I'll be up like 2% on this account if all the buys hit TP. So that's good. I forget. I think if I was in 3 buys and 3 sells, it means that my first trade was a buy. Yeah, it means that my first trade somewhere was a buy. Yeah, due to the equity guardian I had, I think it messed up the sequence, but looks like it messed it up in my favor. So, so how many more minutes till this closes? So we have 9 minutes. All right. This is some of the other instruments that I've been playing around with. OddCAD. For this one, and I'd gone over it like last week. I just trade from zone to zone. So I trade from ideally the 4-hour zones down to the next. If how do I put this? For sells, I look at 4-hour zones. Okay, wait, let me rephrase. For either sells or buys, I look at the 4-hour order blocks, at least the 4-hour order block. So for here for sells, and I've been writing OddCAD this whole time. It's ideally been a cycle. So for here, I sold OddCAD around this zone, sold it all the way to when it got here, because it arrived like at a point of, I'm just showing you guys how you can use like some of our other indicators, especially the zones and the markups indicator. You can use this for some of you guys who may have used EAs before or who use EAs. You can be setting buys and sells only, right? So here, for example, you could do sells only, but for me, I was trading it manually. But here, you could have been doing sells only to the next supply level or to the next high time frame order block that's at least a 4-hour order block. And then once you get here, you do buys only. So same thing, same thing. So one thing I've been looking at, OddCAD, another nice one, which I've been riding for, this has to be like for a month now. GBP NZD has been a nice support and resistance instrument, right? So it comes up here, we have a bunch of sellers right here. When it comes up here, I sell. When it comes down here, I buy. Comes up here, I sell, buy. So same thing, same thing. And right now, and you can see we are also creating, and for this analysis, I do it on the 4-hour. So I put this chart on the 4-hour, and then I do that analysis going up. And you can see here, right, we are creating higher highs on the 4-hour, and price is currently at a 4-hour bullish zone. So I do expect like GBP NZD to tap this zone, come back up, and then go back up around here. So yeah, for some of you guys who do use EAs, this might be a nice combo to use. But anyway, if what you're doing right now works for you, don't try to introduce other things. But I just wanted to show you guys the same. So same thing on gold. Right, look at this, right? From this supply area that has a OB down to the next demand area that has like a 4-hour, at least a 4-hour. And then you just play those zones together. Anyway, I want to see if we're gonna get this trade here. Where is that? So this is good if it's coming. I want US 30 to be as close to the 9 EMA as possible, so that the 9 EMA can act as, oh, we can see where to put the stop loss. So this would be perfect. So let me revise this trade. So 100 pips stop loss, 150 pips TP. So that's like a 1:1.5. Not bad. All right, and we'll see if we get that trade. And of course, if you're trading the hourly candle, you would want the hourly candle to close. But for me, if I do enter this trade, I'm not trading the hourly candle. I'm just trading the breakout scanner. Also looking at the crosses indicator, you can see we just had a buy. So what we normally expect with this indicator is that after a golden or death cross, we would expect 4 trades in the same direction, including the original cross. So here, right? You need to look at where price is at right now. So price is above a golden cross. So here we would expect to have possibly 3 buys lining up. Oh, I think I'd turned off the secondary crosses or the secondary buys and sells. So you can see, like, for example, here, this buy right here, you had this buy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was like perfect. I don't know if this one's would have hit full TP. Let's see. For this ones, I would normally do like 100 pips TP or stop loss at least. 523. This one would have survived actually. So all these trades, this 1, 2, 3, 4 buys would have all hit full TP. So if this one did not hit stop loss, then this one, because it's lower, of course, wouldn't hit. This one wouldn't hit stop loss as well. And this pump up would have pushed price up to full TP 523 to at least 623, which was pushed up right here. Yeah, so like this 4 buys would have hit full TP. So here I'm expecting possibly a reenactment of this, possibly some buys, 3 more buys, or even more than that, to push price up to 35,880, which is still and was still my target for US 30 last week, 35,880 or 36,000 for a retracement. So keep in mind, I am literally, I don't want to miss this sell. I'm literally watching this, and I'm hoping, or I'm forecasting this sell to come up mid-August. So if not end of this week, possibly Friday or Thursday, next week, we'll get this sell on US 30, and we'll see how that goes. How many more? 3 more minutes before this trade comes back. Yeah, so after I call this trade, that will be it for the day, and then I will see you guys tomorrow. But let's see if we get this trade. Yeah, so US 30 heavily bullish, gold on the other hand. Oh, and I did get the updates for the indicators that includes the, what is it called, the time filter. So I've just been doing a lot of stuff this week. So I'll check that result, because I haven't really tested it out, but I know my programmer, one of my programmers sent that to me. So once I do make sure that everything is okay, I'll update the indicators, and all the indicators should have the time filter. So that way you can filter out entries that fall in between times you don't really want to trade. Here, I would want possibly for it to drop lower, so that I really want the stop to be somewhere below this zone. But for me, I'll just do the 100 stop and 150 TP. But ideally, for you guys, if you want, right, this to me would be safer, because if US 30 does drop down here, it would fire a sell signal. So this is why this would be my preferable one. But for me, the one I take, I'll just have 100 pip stop. Oh, wait. Actually, it did fire the buy, right? This was the buy right here. My bad. Oh, I've been looking at the wrong candle. So wait. I've been looking at the wrong candle. So we did get the buy. I don't know if anybody already jumped in. If you did not, this might be the entry to wait for. Yeah, so we did get that buy. I don't know if anybody, so this was the candle right here. It wasn't this candle. So I was looking at the wrong candle. So this should be the trade, but since I'm not in it, this is what I'll wait for. I'll wait for this hourly candle right here. So this is the trade that I'll wait for. So I don't know if anybody entered this trade, but if you did not, just observe. You can even put like a buy, a pending buy right here. But if you're already in, then that's fine as well. But if you're not, either put a pending buy at around, what is this, 35,650, or wait for the hourly candle, and see if this hourly candle closes above this trend line again. So yeah, so I did not, I was looking at the wrong candle. So I didn't enter that, this trade. Yeah, so for you guys, either wait for this hourly entry, or put a pending buy at 35,650 area, if that makes sense. All right. Yeah. Other than that, I will talk to you guys later, tomorrow probably, because I have something to go and catch up on. Does anybody have any questions? Any last questions? Okay. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.